Hi, I'm Rikki, and my story is about how I went from a person wandering to a person completely overjoyed. So my story starts out very similar to a lot of people's. I grew up in a Christian home. I even attended a religious school for 6 years. So this whole idea of religion and faith wasn't new to me at all. I even really wanted a personal walk with Christ. And it seemed like every time I tried, just something wasn't right. And I just couldn't get that same experience. And I decided that it just wasn't my time yet, and that God was going to bring me a relationship when I was ready. And that's how I left high school, with that mentality. And then moving into college, I lived with my best friend, which started out really well. We did everything together. We were like sisters. I started meeting a lot of new people. I met a group of Christians in my dorm that had invited me to crew. But I also met a lot of non-Christians. I met a boy who was not involved in anything religious or faith-based. And I became very insecure of what people would think of me if I pursued religion and faith. And I was even invited to go to crew, but my best friend didn't want to go, and I really didn't want to go alone. So I just tried to do things on my own and kind of turn my back on God during that first semester. And then when I came back my second semester, everything started to change. My best friend got a boyfriend that took up all of her time, and I started thinking about my future with this boy and what it would look like, and it was very bleak, and it didn't have God at all. And I decided I just really wasn't okay with that. So I tried to distance myself from him and from a lot of my non-Christian friends. But I found myself very lonely. And I remember at one point in time I sat on my dorm room floor and I was in tears asking God what he had planned for me and why he would take all these people away from me. And eventually I stopped feeling so sorry for myself. And I called up some of the Christian girls I had met the previous semester and decided I'm going to try this crew thing out. I joined a D group, which is a Bible study, and I immediately fell in love with the community. I felt like people genuinely cared about me and about eternity. And I just felt so comfortable, and I knew this is where God had planned for me to go. So that whole semester, I just grew in my faith. I really learned what it was like to walk with God, and at the end of the semester I even chose to move back into the dorms to do ministry. So I spent that whole next summer between my freshman and sophomore year of college just bonding with the girls that I would be doing ministry with and growing in my faith. And everything didn't really hit me how serious everything was and how much my life had changed until the first day of school my sophomore year, and I was refaced with all the conflict I had during my first year and all the people, and I just had realized all the stuff God had saved me from even when my back was against him. And I knew at that point in time that I was all in, and ever since that point I have just been filled with such joy. Even when I'm going through a hard time or a dry time, it's different than it used to be because I know I have God on my side, and that he's gonna bring me a happy ending. So thanks for taking the time to listen to my story. I'm very interested in hearing yours, so please use the link at the end of this video to connect with me and share your thoughts.